Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, this is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the afternoon swing trading floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What's going on, my friends, my family, my followers, traders from around the world? Hope each and every one of you are doing most illustriously fantastic on this Thursday afternoon. Brad Golson, hope life is treating you fantastic, man. How's the farm working out? Hope it's getting everything that you want. Charles, how's it going? Deborah, pleasure to have you here. Thanks so much for being here, Deborah. I appreciate it. Bob, how's it going, man? How's Jonah? Hope everyone's doing good. Bill, how are you? Dennis, Drake, Gary in the building. Gary, what's going on, man? Grant Benson, hello. Jeff Martin, Justin, Sharon Baldwin, Michael Baldwin, Tim, Mark, Luke. All right, afternoon, everybody. We got a fun day in the markets. A lot of things to talk about. I got the chat pane selected. Just ensure that if you're chatting, make sure to put your chat pane on all panelists and attendees. So that way everyone can see you. Otherwise, you'll be chatting just to me. Just something to, just a nice little reminder. It was nice to be here with all of you. Jeremy? Yeah, thanks. Thanks for being here. I'm pumped. Bob says, happy that school's over for the year. I can breathe now. I bet, man. I bet. Well, today was a very interesting day in the stock market. Let me adjust this computer a little bit. There we go. So today was a very interesting day. I sent out an email earlier for those traders and those people who are not subscribers to the rooms yet. So if you got that email, pretty much my analysis and my sentiment was this morning was a very, very interesting day for swing traders and day traders. There was a lot of pretty wild and crazy volatility. So I want to share a trade with you that I took on the Qs, took two of them, and it was a nice little wild day, but we did gap down. We'll talk about the Netflix trade. We'll talk about a potential future next Netflix trade from the Weekly Options newsletter. We'll talk about some swing trades where we're going to kind of go over all of that. But it was kind of a wild day because this morning scared a little bit of people, but then the bullish trend, the bullish market stayed intact, and we continued higher. Sharon says, my IRA started out down 1,200 this morning and ended up down 93. Yeah, exactly. So it was definitely a nice little resurgence early this morning. So we were down about 1% or so. Here's the SPY, and as far as the trend goes, we're still pretty bullish, right? We just gapped down right to the 20, black candle gapping down, so that's a retest gap anyway. But with that retest gap gapping down to that support, you would expect and suspect and anticipate that little bounce right there, right? So the trend overall on the SPY still looking bullish. Still looking strong. Here's the weekly charts. And the weekly chart, we have an inside week from last week, which is fantastic. I don't know if we're going to stay that way. Tomorrow being Friday, we probably do. This is a really just a textbook, beautiful example of a pivot pattern up here at these all-time highs. And so, again, if we do continue, we start breaking out, I mean, I see no reason why we can't continue higher. So for the IRAs and the long-term trades and the investments and everything like that on the SPY, so far, all is looking pretty swell. Here's the Qs, and this is the Qs. I'll show you the day trading again. I don't talk a lot about day trades, usually in the afternoon room, but I will cover this one in particular. So on the Qs, we had a black candle gapping down. So I'm going to hide all my drawings here for a second, and let's just kind of recover or recount with some true false statements. So first and foremost, true false, have we bounced from this price before on the Qs? And the answer is true, or yes, we have, absolutely. And not only have we bounced off this price, but have we also bounced off the 50 EMA before, which is that green line? And the answer to that is also yes, we have. So even though this was a bearish gap, and this morning I was contemplating trading it bearish, black candle gapping down into that support. I tried taking a bearish trade relatively early this morning. I'm sorry, bullish trade, and it did not work. So let me hop over here to the 5-minute chart and show you, turn my lines back on. And I kind of know why it didn't work initially. I probably should have waited just a hair longer. I don't think this black candle is an accurate candle, by the way. Anyway, so the very, very first few minutes of the market, let me turn the moving averages off. It's probably going to be easier to see that way. So turning off the moving averages, first 5 minutes of the market, we got this high wave candle right there, which that's one of my favorite candle patterns to get the first 5 minutes. When a stock gaps in either direction, honestly, up or down, and then the first 5 minute candle ends with that indecision candle, I really like that because it's a great indicator if it breaks, really if it closes above or below that 5 minute low. And that was what I didn't really wait for. I probably should have. I was super excited to buy this bounce is what ended up happening. And I was like, oh, cool, a gap down, black candle gapping down into a support. Let me buy the bounce. Well, it didn't close above the high of that candle. And you'll also notice there was a pre-market resistance there, and there was a pre-market resistance there. And we didn't break above that pre-market resistance. So bottom line, I lost an R pretty quickly, actually in about 6 minutes. A little bit less than that, maybe. It might have been like 4.5, 3 minutes, but it was pretty quick. Now, the good news is when I am wrong on a day trade or a swing trade for that matter, I like to be wrong quickly, right? Tear that Band-Aid off. Let's move on. So what ended up happening is I was like, okay, well, I still want to have that bullish sentiment. I was in the trading room this morning, so we were all trading together with Latoya. There was a lot of people there. And I was like, guys, we're still at a really good support. Even though I got stopped on that trade, let's look for a buying opportunity. And if I hop over here to an hourly chart, so again, hourly charts, ladies and gentlemen, this is your bread and butter. For those who are here watching this, either from YouTube live stream or in the recording or here live, the hourly chart is where you're going to pay your bills. This is the bill paying time frame, right? So if you want to pay your car payment, your mortgage, your credit cards, your student loans, you want to buy some groceries, the hourly chart is a great place for your swing trades to get set up. And obviously you want to do it as simple as possible. Buy low, sell high. So here on the Qs, you'll notice this is the exact price that we bounced just 2 days ago. Well, not 2 days ago, early last week, the 12th. And when that bounce occurred, you can see that that was the exact same price we trade down to today. So it was just a very clear buy low, sell high. Did I know that trade was going to work? No, I did not. In fact, I thought it was probably going to lose, and that would have been on an 0 for 6 losing streak for day trades. So I was at 0 for 5 this morning, and I was like, all right, well, here we go. Right, so I had been planning. This was something I had planned since yesterday, that if we were going to gap down, we're going to trade into some support. So anyway, the entry was 137.50 because that was an option that was corresponding with that exact price. So 137.50, went ahead and got the 137.50 call, and that was the low of that candle. So I got pretty lucky. I actually got filled by 1 penny. The funny part is I got filled by a penny on this trade, which I lost on, and I got filled by a penny on this trade, which I won on. So I lost 1 R on the initial bullish trade, and this one just started working out really quickly, exited right there. By the way, Grant, thanks for helping me follow my plan today, buddy. Me and you were chatting back and forth. And when I sent this chart to him, Grant made sure that I exited at that resistance. So thanks, Grant. I appreciate that, man. But that's why I love the Slack channel. I love the communication. I love the family here. A lot of traders chatting back and forth with me all day, every day. That's me posting my picture of the book that I got, the Justin Linderman Stock Pun book. So yeah, the Qs looking pretty good. And then earlier, also in the morning trading room, I posted this swing trade with options. We're going to be talking about options more tomorrow. And then, of course, next week, I will be giving all the traders who sign up for the morning and or the afternoon swing trading room, I'll be posting on Slack and in some emails, some videos about a strategy I call Absolute Zero, and kind of sending out some day trading, some weekly day trading option information. That's something that I provide to the traders who sign up for either trading room, either the afternoon and or the morning. There's already some of you joining, so thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I'm super pumped to enrich lives with each and every one of you. So I'm excited about that one. Cheryl, you were asking earlier about my target on those particular calls. Right now, we bought them at 50 cents and they're sitting at 68 cents. So I'm hoping to sell them tomorrow for $1 to get 1 R, but I won't be holding them massively long. So as long as I can make a profit on those, I'll be pretty happy. But if we're talking swing trades on the Qs, right, we're trading down to the 50. I'm going to show you on Amazon, but you might remember us drawing this exact drawing I think something like that starts happening. So this is a really, really easy plan. But tomorrow, if we gap up on the Qs, which I kind of expect, if we gap up on the Qs, what do you think we're going to do in the very early part of the morning? Any guesses? What do you think we're going to do? I'll give you a hint. It's going to be very similar to what we had done days ago, 2 or 3 days ago. Yeah, there's a good chance we're going to retest, right? So white candle gapping up, we're probably going to trade down and retest and then probably likely buy that dip again. So it'll sell off more or less immediately if it gaps up, or at least that's what I'll be watching for. Doesn't mean it'll happen for sure, but that's what I'll be keeping my eyes on. So that's the Qs. Here's the IWM, and the IWM black candle gapping down, doing its thing. This bull put spread, it will expire just fine. And then here's the Dow Jones ETF. Dow Jones ETF made a new all-time high yesterday. It looking good so far, some good volume coming in. And today is Transportation Thursday, so here's the IYT, the Transportational ETF, and here's the weekly chart. And so far on the weekly chart, it does appear that we have a very ugly double bottom. Let me do that with a different color, purple. So a very ugly double bottom of sorts, but ugly is good sometimes. We close above the neckline. We have kind of retested. So the transportational sector still at this particular point in time looks relatively strong. So I think that the IYT, we're going to slowly start creeping up. And if we go higher on the transportational ETF, we likely will go higher on most transport stocks. And that's what we're going to be looking at today. So before I jump into those, any questions, concerns, thoughts, or oppositional viewpoints, my good friends, on any of these trades so far or in the broader markets? I'll be going into the swing trades we have open. We're going to run through those really quickly, and then we're going to get into the list of stocks that you guys requested yesterday. So let me go ahead and just pull up the swing trades that we are in presently. And Sharon says, is mine the only screen that is blurry? I hope so, but I'm sorry it's blurry on your end. Let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if anyone else has a blurry screen. But you should be able to move the screen that you're viewing, Sharon, either smaller or bigger. Or you can right click and select zoom to fit screen. It's clickable. So you should be able to move it around to kind of fit your needs. Let me know if that works. All right, so let's look at some of the swing trades really quick. Ticker symbol M for Macy's. Bob wants me to add Weight Watchers. Yes. So Macy's, this is a daily chart, and we are in Macy's. It's not really doing much. I mentioned just yesterday that I'll wait until Monday to move the stop. No updates on Macy's. Next on the list, Trivago, TRVG. We talked about this one yesterday, and you'll notice we had the note. We talked about this one yesterday. If we can exit for break even tomorrow, let's do so. So yesterday, Trivago was trading down. We did rally back up into the entry of 1868. So I had an OCO order to sell at either 1791 or 1868. So the break even did go through. So I didn't lose anything on Trivago, which is good. So we'll come back to Trivago later if it ends up working, and we'll figure out what happens. But out of Trivago, MCK is the other swing trade that we are presently in together, and MCK did make a new higher high. So yesterday's high was 164.62. Today's high was 164.88. So really, this trade has had an opportunity to get triggered in ever since Monday. So for the whole open house, if you've been watching the recordings or in here live, you've had the opportunity to take this trade live. Still don't know if the trade's going to work, but I like it much, much better. It's had some good bullish strength. Target for this one is 169.80 on MCK. So I do like that candle up about half an hour right now, looking pretty good. Next on the list is Zoes, Z-O-E-S, and Zoes breaking down. So this one's also one we looked at on Monday, on Tuesday, and on Wednesday. It did trigger today, and we're going to look. I mentioned I wanted to exit at a 1R gain, so that we're not very far from that on Zoes. So if the trader's in on Zoes, I don't know if we're going to hit this tomorrow or not, but really if we can hit this 1R-ish level right about here, it's just a quick trade that I want to kind of get in and get out of. Nice little breakdown. Let's see if we can make about an R on that trade. It could be a little bit better. If you want to hold it longer, you're more than welcome to. But as we get closer and closer and closer to the end of the month, I get more and more and more aggressive with my trades, and you can probably imagine why, right? If you're here to pay the bills and you're taking the trades, you got to get in, you got to get out, you got to make your money, you got to move on. So Zoe's trading down to that 13, 18 price range. That would be a nice target on that one. Next is Yelp, YELP, and we got triggered in on Yelp. We set this one up on Tech Giant Tuesday, triggered in yesterday. I like today's bullish candle. I hope it breaks out, but so far nothing yet. And then HDS, we set this one up yesterday, and it did trigger today on HD Supply and Holdings. So I typed in that we're going to find out if we win or lose on this one in 2 weeks. So we shall see. Yes, I'll be reviewing Netflix today. I mentioned that one just a few moments ago, so I'm going to throw this one over here. Netflix, and I'll just kind of jot all these down that I just looked at. Yelp, Trivago, Zoe's, and MCK. All right, perfect. All right, wonderful. So let's go look at Under Armour. This was requested, and Under Armour, I like this breakout. I'm super happy that we're retesting. Here's the weekly chart, and the weekly chart on Under Armour, we have a giant upper shadow. Really, really huge upper shadow on Under Armour. Big weekly pattern, kind of closed above this resistance is what I was hoping it would do on the weekly chart, but so far it hasn't. Under Armour really has struggled in a big way to get some bullishness going. And really in the recent days, what I'll be looking for is a close above today's high to prove to me that this thing is going to bounce off of this old resistance, new support. I'm not buying Under Armour blind, meaning I'm not going to have just a limit buy set up to buy here, only because I've been tracking Under Armour for the last few, well, really years we've been looking at Under Armour. I think it did bounce because, Steph Curry, one of their endorsers or endorsees. Anyway, Under Armour, Steph Curry, big deal. They have a lot of things going on, and obviously they won the NBA championship. So maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing for Under Armour. But this retest, if you're looking at playing it, make this particular stock prove itself to you because it has had a lot of struggles recently with a bullish trade. The only real good bullish move it's had is this one over the last week or so. And that's the only one it's had for a while. All of the bullish moves like this one and this one and this one and this one ended up failing. This one right here, pretty good. So let's see if we've got the retest. It looks nice on the weekly. Let's see if we retest and actually bounce out of this. Otherwise, it'll probably trade down a little bit lower. All right, so a lot of you guys are requesting some more stocks. Sure, I can throw these on the list. We will run out of time at some point, though, because I've already kind of planned today's program for the stocks that we have on here. But tomorrow, we got Finance Friday, and you guys can request stocks for tomorrow, too. So that's pretty awesome. CNP, VREX, Netflix, got it. All right, awesome. You guys rock. Let's go look at Amazon. So Amazon today was fun. I got to give a shout out to Thomas. So Thomas, you are the man. So here is what we were looking at on Amazon just on Tuesday, right? And on Tuesday, we talked about a bull put spread on Amazon. And I mentioned if it was going to go higher, what we wanted it to do. Well, obviously, most of the tech stock gapped up on Wednesday. So that gap up, we were expecting and anticipating that retest, right, to come in. So when that retest did come in, it came back down to the 50. This was one that I updated in TradingView. If you follow us on TradingView, it is free to do that. And I updated this one earlier today, got filled earlier today on the bull put spread. It was a really, really good trade. And it was, Thomas, I appreciate you giving me that info. He more or less said, hey, man, if you're going to go bullish, wait for that retest. If you drew it in there, wait for that to occur, right? So that purple line, I said, hey, this is healthy. This would be a good thing for it to do. So Thomas was like, hey, wait for it to roll over there before you get in if that's what your plan is. I was like, awesome, man. I appreciate that. So that's exactly what happened today. It rolled over and published and got into a 910-905 bull put spread for my credit spread fans. If you don't know what credit spreads are, you don't know how they work, I do know a company that will teach you for free. You can always email me if you have any questions on that or check out our YouTube channel. But Amazon down at the 50, nice little rotation. So this is a good candle. I like the candle. Is it really going to bounce off of here? I don't think it's going to fail. I don't know how big the bounce will be, but it is doing a healthy movement, right? We drew that in there. It did happen. I'm glad it happened. We've bounced off the 50 before, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. So let's see if it happens again. More bullish than bearish, for sure, in my opinion. And 910 is pretty far away. So until or unless Amazon closes below this particular price, which is $921.94. Until you close below that price, I won't be massively concerned. But this credit spread, this was $1. So that's a 20% return on risk, and that's a pretty solid amount. So if Amazon continues higher, there might be a chance I might just simply buy to close that one. Earnings season starting up again at the end of July. Last earnings season was the end of April, the beginning of May, and that was one of the most profitable 2 weeks we had at Real Life Trading for the entire year. So make sure to join the Real Life Trading family at least through this upcoming earnings season, into July and August. It's going to be a fan fest. And then obviously when the market starts selling off in September, October, November, and then we start getting bullish into the Santa rally. I mean, good night. So many opportunities coming up. I'm just so pumped. I'm always so jazzed. Anyway, so that's Amazon. I like the bull put spread. That's really all I got on that one right now. Next on the list is Netflix. What a brutal little vixen today Netflix was. So Netflix traded down to the 100. This was mean city. I was really hoping that Netflix would do exactly what it did today, but the option value changed a little bit more dramatically than I had anticipated or had wanted. So if you got into this trade, 450 by $3, the great news is you more than likely lost less than an R, depending on how many contracts you purchased. So for me, for 450 risk, it was either 2 or 3 contracts. Went with 2. Most traders had either 1 or 2 contracts with went with 1, so you couldn't have bought a whole heck of a lot. The low of today on the option was $2.60. So we got stopped out of that option trade by 40 cents. You might remember, and again, this is what's really cool about the weekly options newsletter. So keep this in mind. The one that I did publish, and there's a very, very good chance I'll be sending out a bonus one again, either tomorrow or over the weekend. But if you got stopped out on Netflix, you did it correct. I also got stopped out. But here was the stock chart. And I wanted to buy it off of the 100. So you'll notice I said trying to buy the bounce off of here. And I expected in this little chart a gap up, trade down to that support and a bounce. We did gap up. We did trade down. I mean, we followed that line almost to the penny. And then we filled at the very, very bottom of the day yesterday. Initially, it was looking pretty good. But then with that random gap down in the market, we didn't get stopped out at open. It didn't wait until we traded lower. I was hoping the 100 would hold us up. It didn't quite hold us up. Now, for those traders who got into Netflix with a different position, some traders got in with a different strike. Some traders got in with a different expiration. Some traders got in with a different strategy, right? So there are some traders who are still in Netflix. Some traders got in shares. So you'll notice if you did this exact setup with shares, green line versus red line, you would not have gotten stopped out. That's why, again, sometimes there's a benefit to options. Sometimes there's a detriment to options. I still like shares more than I like options, always will. Only because, again, this exact trade right here, if you're trading it with the shares, wouldn't have gotten stopped out. I like the bounce off the 100. If you're trying to hold it as a target, it's all about really what expiration and what strike you have. I love this candle. I love it off the 100. How big will the bounce be? Honestly, we'll probably do something like this. I don't think on Netflix we're just going to scream to the moon. I don't think we do this. It's possible. It is possible. But this was a glorious pullback on Netflix, and it traded into the 100. The trend is still bullish. Here's the beautiful thing, folks. If you lost on it, it's okay. Let's try again at some level. So here's the hourly chart on Netflix, and really what I'll be looking at doing is probably buying at the exact same price, this 150 level, and I might just buy a little bit of a longer option. So if this one can pull back some, tomorrow and or Monday, Tuesday to do something like this. I think Netflix still looks good for a long. Luke says 148 strike, 450 up 35.5%. Right on, man. Very, very nice. Very nice. So yeah, it overall looks pretty good. Again, we got that rotation and that bounce. That did happen. So this gap down in the overall broad market, right? What are you going to do? Not much you can do in that situation. The whole market was gapping down big this morning. So it's one of those unfortunate things. But with that being at the 100, it looks more bullish than bearish to me. Depends on your risk profile and how long you want to buy and what you want to do on Netflix. But either shares, options, put sales, or bull put spreads all look pretty good. That's just kind of my thoughts on Netflix. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? Any other questions on Netflix? All right, sweet. Pat from YouTube says, what's up, guys? Please take a look for Square. All right. So SQ. Pedro says, why aren't you using the circle and seasonal indicator today? The circle and seasonal indicator. It's a great question, Pedro. I don't know if I even know what a circle or seasonal indicator is. I don't really use much of the seasonal indicators. I do like the Trader's Almanac. I think seasonality is a really cool part of trading. But if you want to help me remind me what the circle and seasonal indicator is, I'd be happy to check it out. All right, so Square is also requested. Square was powerful today. I love that stock long-term. Love the company. All right, let's go look at Tesla. Now, Tesla was interesting today. This is, guys, again, another tech stock, just as a reminder, that has broken above that Friday high. It's a big deal. And we got a white candle gapping up right here, retest gap. White candle gapping up right here, retest gap. What's this called right here? The retest. So Netflix, however you want to play this one long, as long as you got enough time on this one, put sales have been working out really good. Bull put spreads have been working out really good. You want to give it a lot of time. The trend looks good. Here's the hourly chart. Luke says for short-term trades, you only use weekly options. Yes, that is correct. Let's see. So I'm going to draw on Tesla what I want to happen from here. I'm going to go ahead and draw it. So when and if this plays out, I want to break out above that resistance. I want the pullback, and I'm going to buy the dip. That's pretty much it on Tesla. It looks bullish to me. Here's a great one of those times and one of those reminders that everything in the stock market works, right? Just not all the time. That's something that's beautiful. So sometimes my strategy and my approach is going to work really well. Sometimes other traders, other analysts, other strategies might work out really well. Some investors, if they're buying off the 50 EMA, sometimes it works great. Sometimes it doesn't work great. This one, the bounce today, the traders who bought and who play off the 100 simple moving average on the hourly chart got paid handsomely today. So there's the bounce off the 100 simple, and there's the bounce off the 100 simple. Congrats. So that was a really nice move. And that bounced almost 10 points off of the 100 simple moving average on an hourly chart. So again, we talked about that one on Mentorship Monday during the second hour. Some moving averages work in certain locations, some work in other locations. They all work, just not all the time. So it's like you can look at any moving average, and I can give you plenty of examples where this bounce on a 100 worked shockingly well, and sometimes where it just did not. So here's a few examples right here. So right here, bounce didn't work. Right here, bounce kind of didn't work. Right here, it did. Right here, it did. Right here, it did not. Right here, it would have worked bearish, maybe. Right here, it did not work. Right here, it would have worked bearish. It would have worked bearish. It would have worked bearish. It would have worked bullish. It would have worked bullish. It would have worked bearish. But again, you would have lost on two of these times, right? So the same thing applies. There will be, doesn't matter what strategy, indicator, bands, whatever you use, whatever time frame you use, it will happen. It will go astray. You will lose, and you got to keep that in mind, right, Vinny? So it's like you got to stick to your plan. Whatever your plan is, keep it boring, keep it easy, keep it simple, wash and repeat. So on Tesla, I love this move, folks. It is going higher. Let it continue, let it break above, and then buy the retest. Why buy the retest? Because it's at an all-time high. The trend is strong. Buy the retest. Looks nice. Richard says, just make sure to only lose an R. Exactly, because you will be wrong, my friends. When you're wrong, just be wrong small. Spirit Airlines, talking about transports. So we've had a lot of traders play Spirit Airlines a time or two. And personally, I want it to trade back into this $50 range. I don't have any position on Spirit, but there were some traders, Peter O'Donnell in Australia initially, made a lot of money when it came back to this area. Check out that retest. Old resistance becoming new support. Bounced off and then just traded right back to that resistance again. So this is a situation where if Spirit Airlines comes back into the $49 to $50 range, right? You need to reassess your time frame for it. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? How long are you bullish or bearish? What time frame do you want to trade it on? Right? Those are the questions you need to answer. So are you investing in it, or are you trying to pay your cell phone bill, or are you trying to just make some additional money? Like, what's your objective on Spirit Airlines? What are you trying to do with it? But pull back into that 49.50 area on SAVE. Looks pretty fresh. UPS, my good buddy George and a lot of other traders are making some serious coinage on UPS right now. We talked about this one on Tuesday and Monday, I believe, but this is a stock that is doing something different than the broad markets. That is always a strong indicator. Type it in 1 if you remember me talking about that just earlier this week. If you see the broad market doing something, go find stocks that are doing something different than the broad market, stocks that look entirely different, and go look to trade those, because those are going to be a little bit more strong. So this candle right here, this was Friday, right there. That was Friday. And you remember how bearish Friday was in the majority of the market. This was Monday. So Monday was a screamer on UPS. And then what did we do? Oh, man, guys. This should give you goosebumps. I hope it does. Look at that. Breakout and retest. Brutal. Now, again, I'm not in this trade. I can't trade everything. That's okay. But I can help traders who want to be in this. Right? There might be one trader in UPS, but that's what the afternoon room is for. I'm here to help guide you guys to follow your plans. So UPS, beautiful breakout. Retest of old resistance, new support. This is a gorgeous bullish engulfing candle. UPS is a strong move. Targets, it really depends on the time frame. What time frame are we talking about, Sharon? If you're doing days to hours, next target is 111. If you're doing weeks, next target is 114.40. And if you're doing 2 to 3 years, I think I have a UPS target for a 2 to 3 year time frame. Let me go try to find it. If not, I can drop a fib. I can find out for you. All right, UPS. Let me just check. I think I do. No, this was the last wager that I had on UPS. You guys want to see if it worked out okay? This was pretty spot on, by the way. Vinny, you're gonna like this, man. This was money. I felt like Vinny Patel when I drew this. So I had a wager on UPS, and this was back in 2015. This was just back in February, and I kind of spotted the difference. The similarities between these two gaps. Check that out. Let me kind of draw it back. So it traded up and rolled over beautifully. I mentioned that my wager was that it wouldn't break above 113 by April or something. So again, it had some similar properties with this gap over here. It worked out really well, whatever. So let's go do some targets on UPS, Sharon. I think that's very valid. UPS and FedEx looking real strong right now. So let me go drop this fib on here. Oh, dirty. Oh, geez. That's savage. Look at that fib. Look at that. Just traded right down. Let me scoot that up. Retrace 61% of that wave. Oh, yeah. 134.19 would be a good target. And again, longer term, I mean, UPS is a pretty solid buy low, sell high, blue chip, dividend paying. It goes up over time stock. So it's a good one to sell covered calls on while it's at a resistance. But if you do ever want to lock in some gains, I will say future targets on UPS. I'm thinking 1 to 2 year time frame. Edge is bullish. So your long-term leaps and everything, George, look pretty solid at this point, buddy. Sharon, let me know if that helps. And just as a recommendation, anytime you guys, if you can't see my screen, can't see the chart, can't see the numbers, you're always more than welcome to request a chart. And I can put that in the chat pane, or I can email it to you anytime. It's the easiest thing for me to do in the world. So just as an FYI, I'm here to deliver. Call me UPS. Whatever I can do to make you happy, I will. All right, cool. There it is. Got it. UPS looking toasty. Next on the list, we have ourselves FedEx, I believe. Yep, FedEx and then Hawaiian Airlines. So FedEx, gone with the wind. FedEx is gone. Look at that. Type in a 3 if that's some of the most beautiful technical analysis you've seen in a long time. It has nothing to do with my charts, by the way. Don't worry about my charts. Just look at the candles. We can hide my lines. Look at that. You guys could print this chart off and show it to any of your family and say, how could you not invest in such a beautiful environment? I mean, look at this support, buy low, sell high, just insane. Inverted head and shoulders all day. There's the neckline. Breakout of the all-time high. Retest the all-time high 2 or 3 times. Ugh! Woo! Gives them a heart pumping. And the beautiful part is there's a lot of traders who made some serious coinage, like some hotel money on FedEx as it was trading in that channel. Let me come over here to the daily chart, and you'll see that channel. This thing is, look at the bounces off of that channel. This takes you back to the real life trading beginner classes right there. One white soldier, right off that support. Everyone knows who FedEx is. Beautiful buying opportunity off that support. Gorgeous stuff. Hop over here to FDX. And this is the last time we kind of analyzed FDX right in here. So this is back in April. Its analysis on FedEx had mentioned possible channel of sorts forming on FedEx. My traders had some put sales, bull put spreads. That's where it kind of just came back to that support. Mentioned all this down here. Yeah, so pretty much back on the 17th of April, possible channel. My buddy Neil's had a great put sale expired Thursday. One could consider that again, or bull put spread, or shares, or calls as FedEx is out of support. Ladies and gentlemen, this one trade on FedEx, that one trade could have paid for 2, 3, 4 years of the afternoon trading room. I mean, because again, some of these stocks are an investment. Some of these trades are longer term. And I'll be very, very clear on that. Like, is this a trade that we're trying to make money in a week and a half? Or is this something you're going to throw some money at for 2, 3 months or 2, 3 years, you know? And FedEx was it's gorgeous. So next week we can come back and look at some targets. Realistically, if you're not in on FedEx right now, long term, you're kind of missing it. Short term, buy the dip, which was really today. Looks like it's probably going to make new all-time highs again tomorrow. Let's go look at Hawaiian Airlines. And Hawaiian Airlines, yes, keep on pulling back. This is a really powerful stock. It has a very good niche market. It's trading off because United Airlines came out with a note or something that they were now going to go to Hawaii more. And anyway, Hawaiian Airlines, guys, has been a sleeper. This has been the stock that most of you haven't heard of. This and Alaskan Airlines. Hawaiian Airlines since 2014 has gone up over 500% in 4 years. I mean, it's a solid move. And so has Alaskan Airlines. A lot of other stocks have. And obviously, you're not going to want to buy way the heck up here at 60. So this pullback, if you're looking at playing Hawaiian, we have plenty of time until it gets there. That 100 simple moving average, notice we haven't hit that thing since 2013. It will provide some support. How long will it provide support? That part I don't know. All right, that's going to come down to your investment timetable. What are you trying to do with it? What's your goals? What's your opinion on this particular stock? What's your thoughts overall? But a pullback to 42.68 should be good. Buy low, sell high. Hawaiian Airlines. Shorter term, is there any type of trade on Hawaiian Airlines? Well, I mean, that gap yesterday was mind-bogglingly nice. Next target, I mean, we're kind of getting close to it already. Maybe look at an hourly chart. Yeah, I don't have much on Hawaiian. Nothing short term. Okay, next on the list, JetBlue. This is one of the stocks from the spring portfolio. Summer portfolio will be coming out soon, by the way. So JetBlue breaking above that resistance, close above that resistance. Let's take a trip back over to the spring portfolio, which was also entirely free. You guys all received that. That by itself was worth the cost of admission to the afternoon trading room. So let's go to trade setups. Bow, bow, bow. Spring portfolio, 3rd edition. And let's go check out what I was looking at on JetBlue. There's some nature pictures for Real Life Trading Nature Month. Red Hat was glorious. Snapchat finally got to blow my wager, but I lost that wager by 10 days. 3D Systems did some amazing stuff. And then here's JetBlue. So here's my drawing on JetBlue. So I mentioned JetBlue. I was kind of drawing it that it would break out. I know this is a little bit hard to see, but it's easier when you, I'll put this in the chat pane just in case somebody wants it. But mentioned that it was going to break out, retest, and kind of pull back. So we've got the breakout. It's kind of underway. Today is a very small retest. So bottom line is, if you're looking at playing JetBlue, I think she goes higher. This is one of the stocks, and this is one of the analysis that I was most proud of on 2016, 2017. I really like this move higher. I like this candle. It looks like we're about to break through this resistance. This wave rotation was just so pretty. It was almost unbearable. JetBlue has a pretty good flying experience for its customers, and people like them. So here's the analysis posted over 6 months ago. And again, ladies and gentlemen, you let me know if you think this kind of stuff is valuable from a participant expectant. I mean, check this out. JetBlue, boop. Look at that. Look at that, Vinny. Trying to be like you, baby. I mean, that's scary good. Luke says 1.2R up on JetBlue. What next? Do you have shares, Luke, or calls? I think JetBlue looks like a hold, my man. Shares. Yeah, I think it's a hold. I think it's a hold. Weekly chart, moving averages. Yeah. You just let that thing just keep on churning and burning, my friend. All right, JetBlue done. Next on the list is Avis, ticker symbol CAR. Brad says Mr. Squiggles was right again. Man, that guy he's good. So Avis, here's the weekly chart. Now this thing is starting to get impressive. Fundamentally, I think the stock is kind of getting rough, but that doesn't matter, right? Buy low, sell high. So is this a buy low, sell high location? The answer, when we come back after this series of commercials, yes, it is. It's absolutely in a buy low, sell high location. We bounced down here before. The last time we bounced down here, was it pretty or ugly? Well, it was ugly because we were like it took a while for us to actually bounce. So when we're down here now, here's the daily chart, and the daily chart, you had a nice little inside candle. Well, not inside candle. It's kind of like an inside week. I like the bearish candle. Oops, sorry. If you're looking at playing Avis bullish, a lot of volume is coming in. The two candles that I would like this stock to close above would be here and here. If this stock was a little bit stronger, longer term, fundamentals are better, and it paid dividends, I would probably issue a buy order right about now, around that $22 area. But it doesn't really have those. So if you're looking at playing Avis, ticker symbol CAR, that is how right there. Ron on YouTube wants to look at SBGI. If I get time, I will, my friend. Otherwise, I will have to put that on the list for tomorrow. Micron Technology, ticker symbol MU. Micron retesting this 2976 old resistance, new support. And really, this is kind of a flag pattern type of thing on a weekly chart. So again, a lot of the tech stocks are going to get these this consolidation effect where it trades sideways. So don't buy breakouts on tech for a little bit. Buy the dip, buy low. Don't buy breakouts. Buy as low as you can, because a lot of these are going to chop around for a bit. Remember, folks, stocks can't go up forever. They will come down at some point. So when you look at a stock and you go, man, this thing sure is screaming, I feel like I'm missing out. Well, you are. So wait for the pullback. Wait for a pullback and buy the dip. You don't know if it's going to be right or not. But MU, I think next week, next Tuesday, I'm going to kind of reset up the trade that I had on it initially and see if we can play that again. I'm going to start planning that as of right now. We already have a good amount of swing trades open. So I need to see a few of those start working out a little bit better or hitting my targets before I can start placing any more. But if you're looking at playing MU, that's how I would. 29.79 by 28.61. Next on the list, Yum. Yum Brands. Who doesn't like Yum Brands? KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell. Sign me up. Why do I have so many lines on this? Jeez, I have like 100,000 lines. All right, might be a little bit exaggeration. It's 6. All right, I think I can delete a lot of it. This is another, by the way, Kids Month. This is one of the easiest stocks to talk about in the world. What kid doesn't know who Taco Bell is, right? And this stock has paid dividends for a bit. Guys, you could have gotten Yum at $23 back in 2010. This is the antithesis of being an owner, not a buyer. What I mean by that is, if you like eating at Pizza Hut, KFC, or Taco Bell, make sure you own some shares. Have them pay you to eat there, right? If your family goes to Taco Bell, KFC, or some of the other companies that Yum might own, I mean, have them pay you to eat there. Invest in $200, $300, $400 a year and see what that can do longer term, right? It doesn't have to be a lot of money, but that's something to keep in mind. $200, $300, $400. If that's how much you spend on Taco Bell in a year, which is kind of a lot for Taco Bell, you spend $200 in Yum rather than Taco Bell. Just $200, right? Just forego something for a month and put $200 in it and hold it for 5-6 years, and you'd be impressed to see what can happen on stocks like that. So anyway, now it's at all-time highs. If you're looking at buying Yum, you would likely buy it as it pulls back into that old resistance, new support. This would be, in my opinion, a long-term trade as an investment. Short-term, it's already made its move. It's already done its thing. You missed it. This was the consolidation at the all-time high. This was the new white soldier. This was the breakout. This was the confirmed breakout. This was an inside day candle saying, hey, if you're not in, get in. There was a continuation. There was a stair step. There's another continuation. And this is where all the noobs got on right there because they missed it. And anyway, so from here, I'm going to let Yum do its thing. I wouldn't touch it until it starts getting back into that $69-ish range. All right, Yum, done. Next on the list is good old CF. And CF breaking down. This is the dog, one of the dogs in my portfolio. It's a very interesting candle pattern right here for the last 3 days. These two candles have the exact same high. So this is a tweezer top on CF. So this covered call will expire worthless on Friday. The protective puts are for July. If CF keeps going lower, which it looks like it will, the protective puts are already there. I'm going to lower the covered call to probably $30 for July. Let those, hopefully expire worthless. And if CF just keeps dropping, then I'll have the protective puts in. At least I've mitigated my losses to about an hour and a half or so on kind of a longer term trade. And the hour and a half is just coming from the premiums I'm buying on some of these protective puts, because this is the second protective put that I bought. So anyway, here's the weekly chart on it. It looks like it's going to try to double bottom. It also looks like a giant inverted head and shoulders pattern. So we will see. Santosh says inside candle doesn't mean bullish or bearish or whatever the trend. Correct. It means whatever the trend is, take the breakout in the direction of the trend. You got it. All right, next, CNDT. CNDT, Conduit Incorporated. Interesting breakdown today. So this is the daily chart. So whoever was requesting this one was hoping for a bounce from this high wave candle. That's what they were hoping from, and it just broke that support. So hey, good try. I don't think you would have gotten triggered in bullish. I mean, again, it depends on where you bought, right? This is one of those scenarios that if you bought off the 100 simple moving average, it didn't work. That'll happen sometimes. So if your support was here and it broke it and you lost an R, good risk mitigation. If you were waiting for that high wave candle to actually bounce off the 100 simple moving average, that would not have triggered, and you're probably pretty happy about that. From here, I don't know if you can short this stock. It does have some decent good volume, but next target for me, if I was in shares bearish, I would be hunting for 15.25. Really the support resistance from these guys over here. And then from there, if it breaks that low, it's probably going to go back down to 13. Justin said, lost an R on that one. Hey, good try, man. Good job keeping that loss small, brother. Mobile, M-O-B-L. What's Mobile up to? Oh, man. M-O-B-L coming out with some volume. Yes, please. Didn't see that gap. Look at that bullish gap and go on a weekly chart. With that volume at that support, are you kidding me? Where's my text on that one? That was real nice. 100% gain since then, too. What to do now is my question. Resistance, we broke out of that. Here's the next resistance. If I was playing MOBL, it's already moving. Volume is confirmed. The trend's going to continue to go higher, more than likely. Buy the dip on this one. And I would say next target would be $8 on MOBL. So old resistance, new support, right around 575. And try to buy the pullback. Ryan says, I always thought that trading these newer stocks was more risk than it's worth due to lack of history. It can be. It's all about how well you know candles and how much you rely on indicators. That's the fun part. So here's Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. And you'll notice on Tuesday, I mentioned I would love for Apple to not break above the high of tomorrow, and then we could do an official entry. It did not break above the high. So we have not taken that out. I was hoping that would be the case. Apple trading down to the 100 simple moving average. I'm going to be looking for Apple to buy off of that setup right there. Just like that. Now, earnings is around the corner. Will this be an aggressive trade? Yes. Will this one work? You know, I don't know. The bottom line is if tech goes higher, this trade on Apple will go higher. It looks almost so easy that I don't think it's going to work. So I might prefer to do that one. If you have shares, it's probably going to be easier to do it with shares. I'm going to be unable to make that trade official because, again, we have a lot of trades already that we're tracking officially. And I mean, we're in 5. So you don't want to be in too many trades at one time just due to your risk exposure, right? So Apple, for any of my traders who are in Apple long, awesome. This covered call will expire worthless. That was some really good timing on Apple. But if you're looking at trading Apple bullish, there's your candle at the location on the 100. Doesn't look bearish. All right, next. So we already looked at Netflix. CGNX. CGNX. What do we got here? Cognex Corporation. Exponential moving averages. You're on the 50 EMA. So this is probably a tech stock. Yes, it is. Testing, measuring equipment, technology. I can just tell if it, look at that move. Oh my gosh. So in the last year and a half, it's pretty much tripled. Got it. Yeah, it needs to pull back a little bit. So CGNX, strong bullish trend. It is at the 50. Again, could it bounce from here? Absolutely. But since it's gone up, I don't know, 300% in the last 18 months, it's more than likely going to consolidate up here. I think that's what a lot of tech stocks are about to do is just start some consolidating. So if you're looking at trading it bullish, find your stock in and out quickly. Get in, get out, move on. They're going to be fast movers. Ticker symbol FB, Facebook. Got my buddy Ron has a 146 put sale expiring July week 1. Other than that, there's a lot of traders, a lot of real life traders in shares of Facebook. I haven't had anything bullish on Facebook right now because there's a key resistance at 153.38. This one could be one that you could slide into an iron condor, perhaps. Bear call spread, bull put spread down here for July. We only have 4 more minutes left in today's session, but what I will do is I'm going to put that on the list for this upcoming Tuesday. And then we're going to look and see if we can get an iron condor on Facebook, because this looks like the appropriate time to do that, above the all-time high and above and below that 100 simple moving average. All right, next on the list, we got PKG. And PKG, Packaging Corporation, slowly continuing higher. It's obviously in a very, very nice bullish trend. So whoever requested this stock, I'm hopefully is already in bullish, and they're just looking for some targets. So let me do a really quick fib target on this stock. All right, so it's obviously not the all-time high. So it's this one. Hold on, give me 3 seconds. TradingView's been doing that a lot lately. It's annoying. Is it really this candle? I guess it is that candle. Okay. So next target, big target on PKG, 108.27. The trend is it's already bullish. This is definitely not the time to get in if you're not already in, and looks pretty good. Deborah says on some stocks use the EMAs, on some the 10, some to 200. What's the determination? Just depends on the long-term viewpoint, Deborah. What am I trying to do? Is it a long-term trade or is it a short-term trade? Not the 10, but I always have the 200 and the 100 together. So the blue line's the 100 and the red line's the 200. So they're always on the screen at the same time. So, I mean, if the stock is closer to the 100, I mean, that's going to be the support, right? And if the stock is closer to the 200, like that one, that'll be the support. So usually most stocks don't just blow through their 100 and just go right into the 200. So if the 100 is up next, that'll be kind of that support area. And then if the 200 is up next, that'll be the support. So yeah, that's gonna be for the longer term trades on a daily or weekly chart. You were correct. Yep. Great question. All right, next is UNP. I think this is Union Pacific. And Union Pacific, so this is another example. You can see this 100 simple moving average here on the daily chart. Here's the weekly time frame, and here's what I was thinking on UNP. Nice little higher lows. You got a really good resistance right here. Eventually, this thing does appear that it will break out higher. And if it does, 123.57 would be a good target, and that would also be a pretty decent place to sell. Be a decent place to sell a resistance. So yeah, however you want to play it, either sell some covered calls or you can exit some shares there on Union Pacific. But long-term moving averages so far look good. Obviously, this is more of a blue chip, buy and hold, longer-term type of trade. I don't see anything on it short-term, maybe some credit spread opportunities for a bull put spread. And next, I'm just going to have room for Target. The rest that were requested today, I'll have to put on the list for tomorrow. So Target, Vinny's looking for a bearish trade on this one. It's going to be tough for me because you're absolutely right, Vinny. It's going to be like which moving average is going to be stronger? Is it going to be the 200 on a monthly chart, or is it going to be the 100 on the daily chart? So we're going to have a battle of moving averages. Strong blue chip, buy and hold, dividend paying stock. They're hard to short at really, really good support levels. If you are shorting it, my thought is short it quickly. Today was a very nice new Black Crow, one Black Crow candle. You had a bullish candle yesterday. We came right into the 100. So if you're playing it bearish, try to scoop out about a $2 or $3 move, playing it bearish, and then you can look for the bullish play. So this is going to be a channel. Or Kuhn, you were asking about how to find a channel. Ashley will send you that FinViz video, and you can scan for stocks in a channel. But Target, if it trades back down to that support, look to buy. I agree that the bounce is not going to happen quickly. You're absolutely correct. So last time it bounced, when in 2008, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months And so far, we're on the 4th month. So it's going to take a while for it to happen down here. Is it going to bounce? It should. What happens if it doesn't? If we break this support, target will go lower. It's going to be that simple. So that's my thoughts on target. If you're playing it short, do it quickly, and then wait for it to really break that support, and then look to play it accordingly. So you got it, my man. All right, folks. Well, tomorrow is Finance Friday. Here's the stocks we looked at today. These are the stocks that were requested today. Apologies for not getting a chance to look at them today, but the earlier I get these stocks requested, because again, I do go through these stocks, I can make sure I get everything ready to go. So what would you like to look at tomorrow? Tomorrow being Finance Friday, we can look at finance stocks or just anything else that suits your fancy. We're going to be doing this from 5 to 6 Eastern Standard Time every single day, Monday through Friday, and we'll send out the recording for those who don't get a chance to access it. FUL weed.teeo. Is that on the Toronto exchange? Weed, Canopy Growth, this one, got it. It's going to go lower, by the way, Justin, but I'll look at it. WEED Toronto. All right, next, anything else? This is a small list so far. Momo, Netflix, VRX, US Steel, AMD. All right, well, I'll see you guys in 23 hours. If you have any other questions between now and then, you know where to find me. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are hearing my voice and you are not in the afternoon training room, get signed up. Tomorrow is the last day of the open house. Next week, we're going to start with or without you. I would prefer to be with you. Ladies and gentlemen, you are amazing. And until next time, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.